Hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. I am Rue, a makeup lover, primarily drugstore and indie vibes, as drugstore is more affordable, indie is supporting small businesses, and those two things are just things that work for me personally here. So today we are going to be using up products in my collection that are near empty. That can mean it's literally got a couple uses left to it, or maybe it's just the emptiest of said product in my collection. We're just going to be playing with makeup. It's going to be kind of like a shop my stash, but I'm strictly picking out my emptiest products. Yeah, that's gonna be the vibe. We're gonna hang out, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna create this look. So if that sounds good to you, let's go ahead and hop in. Alrighty, so I already pulled out everything I had that is like my emptiest products. Some are almost empty, some are just the emptiest of said product I have. But we're gonna start with my Morphe eye primer. As you can see, this one's getting quite empty. It's also the only open eye primer that I currently have. I have one backup of it for when it runs out, and then I'll be needing a new eye primer, but it's quite empty. I feel like maybe over the month of August it might run out. We'll see. We will see. I have a lot of products right now that are actually quite empty, that I think a couple of them might be in my August empties, which I'm really excited about, since July had 0 makeup empties. It just had some like skincare, a little bit of hair, and I think it was a fragrance that I emptied, but no makeup at all. So I'm really excited to have some makeup empties this month, hopefully. All right, now that the eyes are primed for eyeshadow, the palette that I chose, I just matched with the single shadows that I picked. So I only own about 5 single eyeshadows, but this is definitely my closest to empty single shadow. This is from Gamebeauty and it's in Robinhood, so I for sure wanted to use that one today. I also picked my second most used single eyeshadow. This one, it's got a really nice pan in it too, and this one is Captin Kid from the same Gamebeauty collection. So after selecting those, I just picked an eyeshadow palette that I thought I could create a cute look with, using those as my 2 main shimmers. So I decided to hop into the NomadCosmetics Haunted Europe palette. I'm seeing so many people playing with the Australian themed palette, and it just has me wanting to play with NomadCosmetics a little bit. So I figured this had some tones that would work with the like orangey red shimmers that I picked out. So we're going to be playing with this one. I'm just going to be doing one eye on camera, then I'll do one eye off camera, then I'll come back to do the rest of my face on camera to use up empties. So we're going to start with this one here, Mary King's Castle, and just lightly fluff that over the brow bone here. I think I'm going to be doing a cut crease today. That's what I think I want to do. And I'm just going to kind of like build it up a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but just nice and opaque. Now we're going to go with like kind of autumn colors. So let's go into this orange shade. What are you called? This one's Frankenstein. And we're going to pop that on the inner part of the crease here. Again, I'm doing a cut crease, so it doesn't matter if it gets on my lid because I'll fix it up. I am just gonna blend the edges. I might put something here, just like skin-ish toned and nothing too pigmented. We'll see. And then let's go in. We're gonna go into Spandu Citadel, and just pop that right beside. Just running that along that middle part of the crease. And then for depth, I'm definitely going into that deep brown shade for the outer edge. So what's new in life for me? I know I mentioned that I was getting switched to full-time. This one is Drag Home's Castle. I filled out the paperwork for my job to switch me to being a full-time. It's still going to be scheduling me at 4 days a week, so I should be able to keep up with my content and everything. But I was basically, like I mentioned previously, I was basically doing full-time prior anyways. So for the past like couple months, so just getting the official paperwork so that it's not a problem how much hours I've been working as a part-timer. So yeah, I'm getting that all switched over. I already filled out the paperwork for it. What else is new with me? I'm hoping that this upcoming weekend I can do a river float. I'm trying to plan it with my group of friends. We used to do a river float every year, but unfortunately the past couple of years the forest fires, or either the forest fires have been too bad that the place to do the river float was closed, or the river was too high that it was deemed unsafe, so it was closed, or for whatever reason. It's been years since it's been open, but the last time I checked, it was open, and we will be able to hopefully go this weekend, unless it's storming. It has been so stormy here, which is not normal for where I live. We usually get like a stormy season maybe every 4 years. I think this is the second time since I've been in this house that we've had a really stormy season, and the first time we were trying to do a bunch of landscaping because we assumed our weather would be fine, and this time it hasn't affected us too badly. We've had a little bit of water coming in the basement. Nothing unmanageable, thankfully. Nothing that we think is like a big problem that we need to focus on, which thank goodness, because we have enough things to focus on like with the house right now. I'm just going to grab a little bit of Ghost River here, just for this inner edge here, and then I think out here as well. So yeah, it's been very stormy, so we only had one real summery day, and that was the beach day that I mentioned probably a couple videos ago that we did for my birthday. But I'm hoping we're going to go to the river this upcoming weekend, and then usually what we'll do after the river is we will have a fire and just like cook food and hang out in the backyard. Trying to think if I want anything else on this part of the lid, like the crease area, or if I'm happy with that. It's definitely going to be a more neutral, like not neutral, but like autumn look. I don't know what's up, but I'm already in the autumn spirit. I guess it's because we haven't really had a summer, and now it's starting to feel chillier in the mornings. I'm just building the shades up a little bit, but it's already starting to feel pretty chilly in the mornings. So I'm basically in the mindset of autumn is already starting. So I'm really hoping we can get that river float crushed out before it's too late in the season. So fingers crossed for me. All right, I think I'm ready to cut my crease. So I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. Camo Concealer. This one, it's quite old. You can definitely see through it, and like there's not a ton of product left in it. That said, it'll probably last forever only using it to cut my crease. But I feel like I grabbed the wrong flat brush. I mean, the one I grabbed will work. There it is. This one's just a little longer than the one I originally grabbed, so we're gonna go with the longer one. So yeah, my concealer, it's getting pretty empty, which is exciting. I'll definitely have to buy a new one that's a little bit more of a shade match. Not that I ever really do concealer, but it's still nice to have the option. And with this concealer, I don't even have the option because it will just darken my under eyes. It's definitely not a shade I can use for anything else, really. So crease cutting is it. All right, crease is cut. I think I'm pretty happy with how that's looking. Let's go into Robinhood. This one, it's getting so empty, and I know come autumn, this shade is going to get a lot of love from me again. So I think it will get emptied out in a pretty quickly here at this rate. It's such a pretty shade. I'm gonna pull it about to the halfway mark. Okay, it's actually about a third of the way, but I think I'm happy with it. I'm gonna go ahead and start dipping into that next single shadow. So going into Captin Kid now, just with another flat brush. And we're gonna pull that along here. I might go into one of the deepest shimmers in the palette as well, just for that outer edge. But for now, I'm just gonna get this shade placed and the two shades kind of blended together. Hopefully these shades blend together decently. I I feel like since it's like a white to orange shift and then like a red to brown shift, they should, but it might take a little finessing. We'll see. For now, I'm just going to place it all along, and then I might pull a deeper shade into this outer edge. It's just taking a little bit to build it up. I don't know if I've ever used these for a cut crease. I feel like I must have. I'm pretty sure I have. Just have to build it up a little bit. That's okay. Yeah, it's starting to get to be what I want. So just a little bit of building up. Okay, I think I've got it packed on enough that I'm happy with the opacity. So we're just going to gently go between the two shades and start pulling them so that they blend. I'm starting with the brush with the red, but if it starts to take over too much, I'll switch brushes, no problem. So far I'm happy with that, but I am going back into the brush that had Robinhood on it just to soften this edge here now. Okay, I like that. I do think I'm gonna go in with one more shimmer on the outer edge though. Let's look. I was thinking probably this one. So the Catacombs. And then for my inner corner, I was kind of thinking Highgate Cemetery, just as like a pop. So we're gonna go into both of those shades, I think. Catacombs, we're not gonna use a lot of. I just kind of want this outer edge to be a little bit darker. Ooh, and the sparkle on this shade is so cool. And then I'm just gonna grab just a little bit of my Unearthly Glimmer Grasp, just for that inner corner, and we'll pop it on the brow bone too, just because I can and I want to. So Glimmer Grasp, it's getting pretty empty, honestly. It's also the only Glimmer Grasp I have, so I'm definitely gonna have to place an order from someone that has Glimmer Grasp. I was looking at Rude Cosmetics because they're, as of when I'm filming this, I don't know about when this goes up, but as of when I'm filming this, they have a 40% off sale, and they have Glimmer Grasp that would only be about $5, which in Canadian is more, but I'm like, maybe I grab that and a few other things to try out from them because I really like the couple things that I won. This is Highgate Cemetery, by the way, because I'm definitely going to need to pick up some sort of Glimmer Grasp before this one runs out. And the more affordable, the better for me, for sure. That's so pretty. I still need to decide what to do on the lower lash line too. I am obsessed. Just that little pop of like, it's not even like a minty green like it is in the pan. It has a little more of a yellow hue, but it's perfect for just a pop of green for like an autumn look like this. Obsessed. For that lower lash line though, maybe we'll pull the green. So Mary Cemetery, and then we'll go back into the Catacombs to connect it. That's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna dip into a little more Glimmer Grasp, just on an angled brush, and I'm gonna pull that all the way across the lid. I'm gonna start with Mary Cemetery. Just bring that about halfway across that lower lash line. I gotta do a couple more summer looks before the season changes. I know I don't necessarily do like seasonal looks per se, but sometimes my looks will lean seasonally, so I'll probably play with my more autumn themed palettes soon here. But it's still August, so I definitely want to play with a few of my bright palettes for a little bit longer. Get some more like sunset, sunrise kind of vibes, purples and reds and that sort of thing. Going into Catacombs to finish off that lower lash line. But I can definitely tell that I'm starting to be in the mood for autumn, just kind of based on this kind of eye look that I'm gravitating towards. I do still switch it up all year round, but to me this is screaming autumn in a very good, beautiful way. Okay, I actually didn't pick out a liner for my waterline, I'll probably just pick something that's gonna go with these shades rather than which one is my most empty. So I'm just going to be right on back to pick that. Alright, so I picked out the shades that I thought would be the best, and what I'm going to do is see which one has the least amount of product left in it. I already know it's not going to be these two, and this one's very new, so it's probably going to be one of these two. So this is about how much product is left in the yellow. It's already broken, so I have to be very careful. And then for the red, looks like they're about even. So I feel like I used the red one more though, so let's go ahead and go in with the yellow one, Extra Frosting, and just run that along my waterline. Yeah, I think that goes really well with that inner corner. I think I should also go in with a Glitterly Obsessed. I have these two that I think both would go really well, and then I would say, like, I've been focusing on this one the most, so it's probably more empty. So we'll go into this one here. So I'm just going to go in with a pencil brush because it's the only brush that I can see right now that'll work. And I'm just going to pop that on top of my brow bone shimmer. And I'm just going to pick a little bit of the glitter grasp up and run that along. Ooh, you know what? I wasn't going to do this, but I might do this. So the Glitterly Obsessed was in Keep It Platonic. I think I'm going to go in with the mascara primer on the lower lash line just because I did like greens and kind of minty shades. So I think this would look really cute. I was just going to do black, but let's add a little bit of this. Okay, that's cute. And then for, of course, the rest of my lashes, I'm going in with my Essence Lash Princess. This one, it does feel like it's getting quite empty when I like move the wand around. So I have a hard time telling when mascara is empty. I don't know why. It's starting to get clumpy. It feels pretty empty when I wiggle the wand around, but I have a hard time knowing when it's time to call it an empty. Clearly there is still some product because my lashes are getting decently coated here. Alright, I am going to do lashes and maybe gems off camera, and then I'm going to catch up the other eye here, and then I'll be right on back to finish up the face. We'll start by pulling this off though. So that's the eye look done. I'll be right on back. Alright guys, the eyes are all done. Let's go ahead and jump into some face products. So my emptiest primer is going to be my e.l.f. Suntouchable primer here. This one has SPF 35 in it, and I definitely think it's going to be empty very soon here. As you can see, I do honestly really enjoy this primer. Will I repurchase it? I'm not sure. I've found some more affordable options that I'm going to be testing out here. None of them have SPF in them, and although I do understand that you're supposed to wear sunscreen even in the winter months, I'm unsure if I need to have a primer with SPF come the weather changing. So I might just stick to some more affordable options and just keep trying some new products. I do really like this one though, so if it's ever on sale, I might be convinced to repurchase it. I'm not even going outside today. Usually I'll save this primer for days where I know I'll be outside more often. Like, I wore it to the beach if we do the river float on the weekend, and if I do makeup for it, I'll wear it for that. But like, other than that, like, I don't wear it to work because the only time I'm outside is going in and out of my house. Even getting it from parking to work, it's underground, so like I'm literally outside for like 5 minutes, so I don't really do SPF if that's the case. But if I'm gonna be outside for more than like 30 minutes in a day, I'll usually try to do some SPF. For foundation, my emptiest product is definitely going to be this Covergirl Blurring Skin Tint. This also has SPF in it, but this one I'll just wear when I don't need my makeup to turn out perfect. I've been using it for work. I use it for days like today where I'm just doing my makeup and then hanging out at the house. If I need a tried and true, I go into my Wetnwild, but I've been just trying to get this one emptied so that I can get a new one to try out instead. This one would not be a repurchase. It just doesn't work super well on my more dry skin. It doesn't really blend into the skin very nicely, so it's not my favorite, but I've been working really hard to get it used up. I'm hoping it'll start giving me signs of being empty soon here. Like, I can see some spots, like it's clearly below that, it's probably below there, so like it's gotta be getting empty because I do store it this way just so it's, I've been storing it that way for quite a while because I thought it was getting low. Just trying to blend it in my skin is such a pain. All right, I think that's getting as into the skin as it's going to. Let's go ahead and do a liquid blush. This one I've taken the stopper out of. It's definitely on its last limbs here. For sure my emptiest liquid or cream blush. So we're gonna be using this one. I'm not sure how many more uses I'll get out of it, but it's definitely the one I've been like prioritizing getting emptied out. Just no particular reason. I just ended up really using it a lot. And then once it started to get pretty empty, I just kind of hyper focused on it. Usually for this color scheme of makeup look, I'll go into like a brown instead. I have a couple like more neutral leaning cream blushes that I'll focus on for a look like this, but this video is all about using almost empties, so we are making an exception. Plus, spoiler alert, my powder blush is a brown, so we should be able to kind of help shift this to a slightly more neutral look. And then for cream highlights, it's for sure gonna be my Lashstep one. Honestly, this last little bubble has fallen out so many times. This is all that's left, and it is broken, so I just kind of pull out just a tiny bit. But again, this one is definitely on its last legs, and I just swipe it a couple times across the cheek, and then with a brush, I'll blend it out. Honestly, I'll usually just even go in with this brush here that I used for the blush. Lately, I've been using this brush a lot. It's been really nice for blending out as well as for going into my powder blushes. So it's like a one and done brush. I've been enjoying it quite a lot for that purpose. And yeah, I just like to really soften that line so that it's more blended out. I am noticing my lash lifting, so I'm just gonna fix it a little bit on this side. If it starts to lift, sometimes what I'll do is I'll just go in with my lash glue and dab it where I want it. Give it a couple minutes to start getting tacky. While that's waiting, I'm gonna go in with some setting powder. This is my loose setting powder that's the most empty. This is my Wetnwild translucent. There's still like a bit to it, but I'm starting to store it more so upside down in order to get that last product out, because it was starting to have a harder time getting that product out. And this one I just use, at the moment, I'm just using it under the eyes and then also around the nose, just because, especially this foundation, it doesn't stick to the nose very well. So I want to use a setting powder that I know I really like. For the rest of the face, I've been going in with my Clean Invisible from Covergirl, and it is empty. So what I've been doing is actually just scraping with like the back of a brush to turn this last little bit into a loose powder, just kind of like this, and then picking it up on a brush and using it that way, because there's just no way it's gonna get picked up otherwise. So I'm just kind of breaking a little bit apart. Honestly, either today or tomorrow is gonna probably be the last use for this one. So once I've done that, I just go in with my brush like this and pick up what I kind of broke apart. And I use that to set the rest of the face. Yeah, it's only got maybe another use after this, maybe two if we're lucky, but she's very empty. This is where we're sitting now, so we have just this little corner of product left. Honestly, I could even just use it up today, but that would give us an empty in this video. How exciting would that be? I think I'll wait though, because I don't think I need that much more powder. Next, we're going to do powder blush. This one is the Gamebeauty Persona 5 blush. This one's in Queen. And honestly, most of my blushes don't have very much dip to them. This is about the most that I saw. I had a couple comparable blushes, but this one I think was just a little bit more close to being like a deeper dip. So that's the one I chose. There were a few pink ones that were like slightly less used, but you could still see a bit of a dip. But I do think this is my most used blush at the moment for powder blush. So again, I'm going in with that same brush that I was previously using, and I'm just building up that blush. And I like to have it come just up to my forehead, and then like kind of like doing a C around my cheek is my usual go-to for a quick blush. It does look like I pulled it out more on this side, so let's try and even that out. Sometimes I like to go in with my powder brush and just diffuse the edges. I'll also do it with my powder puff, and I'll just kind of like press in just to like diffuse the blush just a little bit. And then for my most used highlight, it's definitely the Broken One from Wetnwild that I've been trying to get used up. Again, I wouldn't necessarily use this blush for this eyeshadow look. I'd go with a more gold tone, but that's not the name of the game for today, so I'll just have to use this one, and it is what it is. I'll throw a little bit here too, just cause. And then because it's so white, I'm just going to go back in with my blush brush just to kind of go over top of it and diffuse it a little bit. This is going to be a great winter highlight. I think I'll get a lot more use out of it. I've been trying to use it, but like a lot of the times it just doesn't go with my current looks. But once I'm doing more like blues and purples and like cool toned looks, I think it'll work really well, which I do in the summer, just maybe not as often. I think I'll do them more come winter, most likely. My poor powder puff, it's starting to come apart. It's my only one. Am I aware that I could just buy a new one? Yes, but I got this one in PR and I love it. Okay, so for brows, these are the only open products I have. As you can see, this Essence one is definitely getting nice and emptied out. It's definitely my most empty brow product. I've got a couple backups that haven't been open yet, but we're definitely, I think once I can't comfortably hold it anymore, I'm going to just count it as an empty, which is coming very soon because it's feeling quite small in my hands right now. But I usually just like color in a little bit of my brows. I'm not super precise. I've got pretty decent natural brows, so I don't really need to do too much. I just like to really make sure they're fully opaque and shaped the way I want them to be. The only thing I hate about my brow is this spot here. I keep trying to train it to like fold over, but it hasn't been working. I did it once before and then something happened and it came back and I was just like, whatever. So I'm now going in with my Essence Brow Gel just to kind of help shape everything. I like to just make sure it's a nice clean line. And then this part I rarely mention because it's not really makeup, but I have this super old hair gel. My partner had it before we even met, like it's that old, and I only need a tiny bit because that's how I'm trying to train this brow. So I just kind of gel it over, and obviously like I brush it out enough that it doesn't look super gross. And I just have been kind of trying to do that to work on training my brow, but that's just a me problem. And I try to do that after I shower too, so that it's pretty much always being held over that way, but I forget all the time, so I haven't been the best at it. I think the last thing we need to do is lips, and full disclosure, I didn't pick lips because I do want to pick something that'll work, and it's so hard to know which of my lip products are actually like getting empty. It's like I honestly have no idea, so I'm gonna dig through my lips and pick some products. I think what I'm going to do is go in with my ColourPop Lippy Pencil in Lovebug. No, it's not my smallest lippy pencil, but I'm going to, like, just to make the look work, some of them will be more empty products and some of them will not. So we're going to use that. And then for a lipstick, I'm going to go in with my Cosmic Beauty Ginger Snap. It's not very empty. I've been using it a lot over the past couple weeks. It's been kind of a go-to for me. Again, I don't know which of my products are empty, but I do know that this one I've used quite a bit. It's from Jeffree Star. I'm just trying to use up what I already own from forever ago. I feel like this one should be getting empty. It's pretty dried out, but I definitely think that it doesn't feel like there's a ton of product in there, so I thought I could put that in the center just to kind of pull in that like inner corner and lower lash line of green. And then I think this might be my emptiest lip gloss just because it's so small. I was focusing on it for a while before I switched to this being my focus lip gloss because it leaks. So we're going to go back into this one because I do think it's my emptiest gloss. So kind of a mix and match of lowest products and not lowest just because I'm not really sure with my lip products at the moment. So starting with the lip liner, Lovebug. And I'm just blending Lovebug out with a brush here. I'm happy with that. Now let's go into Ginger Snap. Pretty, and just a tiny bit of Venus Flytrap. Beautiful. I think that looks gorgeous. This is definitely giving me autumn. Lastly, I'm just going to go in with a tiny bit of Solar Flare from Aether Beauty. Again, this one was a feature product, or like it was a focus product for a while, and it still would be if the one from Gourmand Girls didn't end up leaking. But now I'm just trying to get that one used up, but I think that looks beautiful. Let's touch up my hair. It's making me want my red tips back. I just did this one not that long ago, but I think come September, I'll change it to a different color for my hair. For now, I'll just let this fade out. I might have to trim it. I feel like I'm trimming my hair all the time. Let's go in with some fragrance. Do I have any that are like the closest to empty? I grabbed this one. This one is Heaven Speaks from Okcha. I like how the fragrances typically smell from Okcha, but they have no lasting power at all on me, no matter how much I seem to use. So I don't think I'm going to be doing another purchase from them. I bought from them twice, hoping I could get their products to work better. They're not very long lasting in my personal opinion, at least not for me personally. Just going to fix my bangs here. Alrighty guys, I'm gonna say that this is the completed look. I obviously don't need to go through everything I used because we did it all together here. However, I will have it all down below in the description just in case you forget or you're curious about any specific items. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me doing a face of makeup, trying to use up a lot of products that I'm working on getting empty. Clearly, I'm going to guess that for the month of August, for empties, from what I used today, obviously this one. I think probably this one will be empty. I forgot to use a setting spray. Let's set. This is my Wetnwild setting spray. It's my only setting spray. It's obviously my emptiest because it's my only one. I haven't noticed a big difference on if it does much for like longevity, but yeah, I don't really have any big complaints about it or anything. I don't mind using it. Half the time I'll forget to use a setting spray, but it was sitting on my desk, so I remembered. So now this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's definitely giving me like September, October vibes, but that's gonna come in no time, which is crazy. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what other empties I get. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure. I think the only guarantee is gonna be the one that is very, very empty. This one, it's a maybe, but I thought it was going to be empty before, so yeah, who knows? I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to leave me a thumbs up. It does help my channel out a lot. If you want to see more content from me, you can hit that subscribe button. It basically just bookmarks me so I'm nice and easy to find. If you want to hype my channel, it'll help other people find my channel to hopefully get to enjoy my content. If you have any thoughts down below, please let me know. Do you have any products that you know for sure are going to be empty at the end of this month, like how I feel about my Covergirl Clean Invisible one? Let me know down below. Do you have anything that you thought would be empty by now but somehow is still trucking along? Let me know that down below too, because we've all been there. And yeah, aside from that, guys, I just want to thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye!